Hello, everybody, and welcome into our first season preview show here at the Hockey Writers for the 2025-26 season. I'm your host, Matthew Zator, and after it seems a very quiet off season, I think it's been the most quiet it's been for, I don't know, a long time, at least in my experience. But we've got the New York Rangers we're going to start off with here, and I've got Ben here that covers the Rangers here at the Hockey Writers. Ben, how's it going?
I'm good. Thanks for having me, Matthew.
For sure. I was just saying off camera there, talking about we seem to have a new writer on every year for the Rangers, but your first one for previewing the season. And we're just going to go through and preview the season for the Rangers coming up. I don't know if there's going to be any more changes to the roster. It doesn't seem like it. But, I mean, you never know what can happen through training camp, waivers, stuff like that. Trades could still happen. But we're going to look at the team as it is right now, and we'll see if anything changes. But I don't know what the Rangers happened last season. They had basically fell from grace. I mean, they won the President's Trophy the previous season and then didn't make the playoffs. Had to have a lot of struggles throughout the season and made some big additions even at the trade deadline, bringing JT Miller back from the Vancouver Canucks. Had a really good second half of the season. Is going to be his first full season with the Rangers in a long time. So we'll talk about that. So let's just start off and talk about the forward group going into this season. Not many real changes from last season, except for, of course, JT Miller getting the full season. What are you looking at for the forwards? Big storylines, burning questions. Don't really have any big additions to talk about there, but overall, what do you think about the forward group going in?
I'm looking at the forward group, and I think it's a forward group that in years prior has performed much better than they have last year. And I think last year I'm willing to give pretty much like the entire team, not necessarily a mulligan, but for some players like kind of a pass. Like for example,
Mm,
Artemi Panarin. He led the team in goals, assists, and points, which makes sense. The issue is he only had just 89 points in 80 games, which is not what we are paying Artemi Panarin to do. We're paying him to put up triple-digit points. 37 goals, I'm very happy with. 52 assists, that's kind of where like it kind of falters there. Big storylines, I think the emergence of JT Miller for his
mm.
first full season. Will Alexi Lafreniere bounce back? And I know we're going to talk about that a lot later. Will Mika Zibanejad bounce back? I think he had a very solid season. I believe it was 62 points, if I'm not mistaken. But he obviously far short of what he has done in years prior. And I think the emergence of Gabe Perreault, who is a prospect, I think we will talk about that later. I think those are some very big storylines from the forwards, but overall, I think they're gonna develop more and progress as a team and as a cohesive unit more.
For sure. I mean, you're looking at the group. I mean, it's still a pretty strong one on paper. I mean, JT Miller's I would say probably your top line center going in. I mean, Mika Zibanejad, like you said, he's the guy's going to have to really bounce back this season. And is he going to be on the wing? Is he going to be at center? He seemed to play really well on the wing with Miller. He might start there. I mean, that kind of thins out your center depth, but if that's where he's going to perform and maybe return to that player that he was a couple seasons ago, then maybe you do work that. And like you said, with Lafreniere is another big question mark. I mean, he had an okay season, but after that really good season he had in of course, President's Trophy win, everyone was good. So, I mean, you're looking at a lot of the players had great seasons. So, I mean, if some of these guys can get back to that, we'll see. I mean, Philip Hedl, of course, went to the Canucks, so he's not going to be
Yeah.
part of that. But I mean, Miller's going to, if he can return to even an 80, 90 point guy, that's a big difference in your lineup. And that's just going to kind of trickle down the whole group.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he had, I believe, 35 points in 32 games, which is about at that pace of 80 to 90
Mm.
points. I mean, so I was really pleased with his play. I mean, I know his defensive inefficiencies are quite bad, to say the least, but
Yeah.
I mean, he makes up for it offensively, which I mean makes sense. That's kind of what it should be. You definitely you don't want a forward who can't score and can't defend, but I'd rather take a forward who at least can score but can't defend. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of experience, of course, with Miller here in Vancouver. So he at his best, he is one of the best players in the league. I mean, he can be a finesse guy, he can be a physical power forward, win faceoffs, play in all situations, and he's mean. I mean, he can be mean too. So that's a guy that can be a huge difference maker. Maybe a bit fiery. His emotions can get the better of him at times, and that was a big storyline in Vancouver. So, I mean, we'll see if he can kind of rein that in. If this is the locker room that he might be able to connect with a bit more with that emotion. A lot of people think he might be the captain going in. So I'll ask you about that later on, but maybe I'll ask you right now, since we're talking about Miller. What do you think about that? I mean, there's been the talk about Larry Brooks, I think was the one that floated that idea, saying that, Miller is the guy that they should be making the captain in this kind of culture change you're trying to do.
I mean, I don't necessarily agree about that for this particular season. He's only played less than 40 games with the club. I mean, I know he had a fantastic career with the Rangers before getting traded to the Lightning and then ending up back in New York, but I think it's practically a completely new cast of characters. And I think if we give him a full season, similar to what the Toronto Maple Leafs did back when they signed John Tavares, they let him play a year out, see how he did. He did very well. And then they gave him the captaincy the year afterwards. So I think it should be something similar when it comes to JT Miller.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, it's kind of really quick to put a guy into that leadership position when you got so many other guys that have been there. Like Adam Fox is one that kind of came to my mind right away as being a captain coming up. So, I mean, we'll see. They may not even name a captain going into this season, and see who kind of steps up throughout. And that's going to be a big thing to kind of watch throughout too. All right, let's shift to the blue line, which did see some changes in the offseason. K'Andre Miller going from the Rangers to the Carolina Hurricanes, getting Scott Morrow in return in that deal. And then, of course, they signed Vladislav Gavrikov to be added to that defense. What do you think about those two new additions? I mean, Gavrikov signed a pretty big deal, had a really good season in LA, and he's going to be part of that top four group, maybe even the top pairing with Adam Fox. So, those two guys, what do you think they're going to bring to the team?
I mean, I think Vladislav Gavrikov brings a lot of grit, a lot of defense. I think I really like his game that he showed in LA and with the Blue Jackets so many years ago. I think signing him to a 7x7 is it's expensive but in this market with the cap going up, and as everyone says, the cap's always going up. I think that's the right contract to give in this market. I think he is going to be Adam Fox's defense partner. That'll help increase his points. I mean, Adam Fox is one of the best, if not the best, defenseman in the NHL. And I think it helps that Adam Fox is great offensively, and Gavrikov can help defensively as well.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of evens things out, although Fox is excellent in the defensive zone as well. When it comes to Scott Morrow, I don't really know too much. I haven't really seen him play too much. That's he's more of a prospect.
Mm-hmm.
He came out of, I believe, the University of Massachusetts, was a second rounder in 2019. So I mean, he is that blue chip prospect. I mean, I think he's gonna develop. I don't expect him to play every game. Maybe he'll take some time to develop in the Hartford with the Hartford Wolfpack. And if he does, I think he's going to be more of a third line player, similar to how the Rangers developed Braden Schneider when he was a prospect. So I think that's how the development of Scott Morrow is going to go.
I mean, that was a big piece in that deal. And he had, I mean, I've always liked Morrow in Carolina. He was always a guy that I wanted to come to the Canucks because he is a very good puck mover and a guy that can maybe add a bit of offense. But yes, he's very young. So, I mean, he is a guy that's going to be more a long-term piece than right now. So, but Gavrikov is definitely going to make a difference in that top four for sure. Any other storylines you're looking at with the defense? I mean, Adam Fox, of course, that Norris Trophy guy. He's going to lead the blue line again. Gavrikov there. You've got like Braden Schneider, who may be put into a bigger role this season. Carson Soucy is there as well. I mean, there's been talk about him maybe taking a bigger role. What do you think about the blue line in general with these additions, with the guys that are already here?
I mean, I think it's a group with not too much high-end talent. That's kind of the defense core you want. You don't want all the high-end talent on the defense. You want those guys who will grind you down, wear you down. This is, I think, a very good playoff defense core. I don't know about regular season. It might be little shaky at sometimes. Some defenders might, blow their assignments, get a little too tired. I mean, they're all very physical defensemen. I believe with like the exception of Fox and Schneider even, but Schneider can lay the body when he wants to. Um, but I think this is a group of guys that I think the new head coach Mike Sullivan trusts to back Igor Shesterkin up, who was not good last year at all, and neither was Jonathan Quick, and I know we'll get to that later, but the goalie is only as good as the defense that's in front of him.
Yeah.
And as someone who was a goalie for about 10 years, like that rings very true. You need the defense to help you out. You cannot keep bailing them out, the team out every single game. It becomes impossible. And then the President's Trophy season was an anomaly. The defense played well, but Igor Shesterkin bailed them out way more than they had to. And I think the defense really needs to shape up and get much better structure in order to be a playoff team for this upcoming season.
Yeah, I mean, like you say, the defense is that they lack that flashy guy. I mean, Adam Fox, he has those moments where he can be a flashy defenseman, but he's not in the realm of like Quinn Hughes, Cale Makar. I mean, he is one of those elite guys, but I don't think he's in that upper tier. I might be wrong. I mean, I know there's a lot on with Adam Fox. A lot of people didn't like where NHL Network put him on their rankings of their defensemen, but he's still very good. I mean, he won the Norris for a reason, right? So he does lead that defense. All right, let's talk about the goaltending now. I mean, it doesn't change. It's Shesterkin and Quick again. I got Dylan Garand kind of rounding out the trio. I could potentially be a guy that might take over as a backup next season, but Quick is still here, and he has looked very good as a backup over the time he's been with the Rangers. But Shesterkin's the guy they're going to hang, all their hopes on. Do you think this tandem can bounce back to being that basically what they were in the President's Trophy year?
I definitely think so. I think Igor Shesterkin is going to get back to where he was. Last season was a train wreck. The 18-wheeler falling off the cliff, whatever you want to call it, fall from grace, as you said. Last season, we give definitely the goalies a pass. You're only as good as the team in front of you. I think Igor Shesterkin last season, record of 27, 29, and 5, 905 save percentage. That's not where he is. Look at his hockey DB. Look at where he was back in Russia. That's not who he is as a goalie. Jonathan Quick with a record of 11, 7, and 2, which is good. It's not a bad record, really. 893 save percentage. I mean, I think that needs improvement. But I think for Rangers fans, do watch out. Do watch some Hartford Wolfpack games, and do look out for Dylan Garand. I think I've been on him since day one, since the moment the Rangers drafted him. I think he's going to be the next big thing for the Rangers, where eventually Quick is going to get older, and Dylan Garand, who we just signed to an extension, actually, I believe yesterday, is going to slot right into that backup role and get some much-needed mentoring from Igor Shesterkin. And, when it comes playoff time, Igor Shesterkin's the one you want.
Yeah.
He won a Vezina. He's always up there in Vezina conversations. I think this is a very solid tandem once again. Now, if they don't do so well this year, especially Jonathan Quick back with what I said, that 893 save percentage, then you're going to want to look for a trade or maybe call Garand up and let him be the backup immediately. But for now, I think it's who you want to it's who you want to go with.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, Shesterkin's going to get the bulk of the starts. I mean, Quick is a very good goalie. We all know that. I mean, he's probably going to be his numbers probably going to retire in LA at some point. He is a guy that can still play. I mean, he is up there in age, but seems to be able to still put out good performances even in a limited role. So he will be able to step in and be good. But like you say, 893 save percentages, not Jonathan Quick numbers. He's usually over 900. So we'll see if they both can be a great tandem, because they definitely have that potential, and we've seen it in the past. All right, let's jump behind the bench. You mentioned Mike Sullivan, new head coach, and the Rangers keep changing coaches. When Laviolette last season, you had they've just changed. The last few seasons have been it seems like a new coach every year. But Mike Sullivan, we all know his experience. He's won cups. He's with the Penguins forever. I didn't think he would ever leave there, but he is now with New York, and he's going to be tasked to turning this ship around. And this team is not rebuilding or not retooling. They're still thinking they're contenders. So what do you think about the hire in general? And then what is he going to be? Is he going to be able to do this? Turn this team around?
I mean, I love the hire. The record speaks for itself. The Stanley Cup rings speak for themselves. That's all you need to know. He won the cup twice in consecutive seasons with the Pittsburgh Penguins. In terms of expectations, you're not exactly coaching Fleury, Crosby, and Malkin anymore, and Letang. It's a different group, and you got to adapt to the players now and their styles. And I'm sure that he's on it already. He was an assistant coach with the Rangers, God knows how many years ago. Um, and I mean, I'm excited for it. Once again, we always change a coach within 2 years. We had Gerard Gallant, and then after 2 years, we have Laviolette. After 2 years, now we have Mike Sullivan. I really like the hire. I think the Rangers are going to find a new motivation to compete. And I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I mean, he's been there before. I mean, he knows how to kind of turn teams around too. I mean, the Penguins, when they brought him in, he was put in a really interesting situation. It was like a mid-season type thing, I believe. I know they've changing coaches a lot during that time too, but he was a guy that really kind of changed the team. And yeah, obviously they don't have Crosby and Malkin here, but you're looking at Panarin. I mean, he's still an elite talent. You've got JT Miller, a very fiery guy. So, I mean, I think he's got the pieces, and this team can still be a very good playoff team. And we'll see how they kind of go. But that's a good segue into this. And that's stacking up in this Metropolitan division. Of course, they won the division. They won the whole league in 23-24. But where do they stack up now? I mean, the Metro has a few different interesting teams in there again here. The Devils, of course, coming back. They made the playoffs, so now they're back to being that contender. Maybe that midpoint. You've got, of course, Carolina Hurricanes are always going to be tough. They're up there, and they were battling with the Rangers during that year, the President's Trophy as well. So, I mean, this is a tough division. You got the Islanders too, which might be a bounce back type team.
Yeah.
Where do they kind of place in here?
It's a tough division. You also got the Capitals. I know.
Yeah.
They're a fantastic team as well. I mean, when I was you gave me all these rapid fire questions, and when I was making my notes, I was thinking, I'm like, where is their ceiling, and where is their floor, and where is that middle? I think that middle of the pack is they have the build right now of a first or second round playoff exit. That's what they have now. That's not where I predict they're going to finish. We have no idea how the season's going to go. But right now, just looking at the roster, no numbers, no nothing, it's all the makings of a team that's going to either beat an opponent in 6 games or lose to an opponent in 6 games in the first round, and then lose in the second round however they how they do that, up to you. I think in just the Metropolitan division, they're either going to be third or one of the wild cards. I don't think they have the horses to compete with the Washington Capitals. Um, Carolina Hurricanes, I mean, they're always Rod Brindamore is always getting them in fantastic shape, and they're always a wagon to compete with. I think the Devils might be on par with the Rangers similarly, and even the Islanders with Matthew Schaefer now
Mm.
on their defensive end. Like, who knows? It's a toss up, honestly. It's a very tough division. I mean, don't count Columbus out.
Yeah.
Um, there's Pittsburgh as well, in the mix, and I don't know if I'm forgetting someone. I think, Philadelphia.
Yeah.
You can count them out, but you can kind of count the Flyers out. But pretty much every team is very competitive. I think last season only less than 20 points separated the third place with last place. It was a very, very tight
Mhm.
division. And yeah, I do think the Rangers are either going to be right on that outside looking in, or just right at that playoff cutoff.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of kind of even wild card, but there was a lot of wild card teams in this division too. Like, you're not really
Yeah.
sure. And then you also got to look at the Atlantic, which they've got some interesting teams over there. So if they do fall into that wild card spot, they're gonna have to deal with those teams potentially too. So it's gonna be very interesting to see where they kind of go. You mentioned the Blue Jackets; they're a very interesting team going in. So I mean that, you know, to make the playoffs, they got to beat all these other guys that, and the Blue Jackets were very close to making the playoffs last season too. So yeah, there's going to be, it's going to be interesting. I mean, I think they could either be in the mix or wild card or totally out of it. We'll see how it all plays out. All right. Well, you mentioned rapid fire. Let's go into our rapid fire section. And these are just one or two sentences. Going with these. So our first one is the biggest storyline or question mark going into this season. And there's lots to choose from with the Rangers, but what's the biggest one in your mind?
I think, will the Rangers be able to ride the ship, or I forgot how the saying goes, but not be a train wreck like last season?
Mm.
Can they be a functional hockey team pretty much, without all the headaches that was last season, and not put all of that on Rangers fans once again? I think that's the biggest storyline, and that's the biggest question mark, is can they do it?
Yeah, I think that's for sure. I mean, especially when it wasn't that far removed when they were the best team in the league.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting to see how far they've fallen, and they really haven't changed. As a team, I mean, for even the personnel, they really changed? They added JT Miller, which is a big piece. They should be better. So we'll see. We'll see how they go. Can they do that? And I think for Rangers fans, that is a big one for sure.
Yeah.
All right, could be a few guys to choose from here, but breakout stars. I mean, there's some prospects in the mix. You've got some young guys, maybe some hopeful breakouts that you hope will break out. Who do you find? I mean, it doesn't have to be one. You could mention a few.
Yeah, I've two written down, one on the forwards, one on the defense. On the forwards, it's Gabe Perreault. Amazing at Boston College, first round pick, in 2023, I believe. And then he only had 5 games last season, which isn't a big sample size at all. And I think he's really going to be a top 6 forward, and I think he's going to be something special. He definitely showcased that at Boston College. And then on the defensive end, we got, I think, Braden Schneider is going to take a big step forward now. He's now one of the veterans, I guess you could say, on that defensive side. Pretty much the entire defense got redone last season. Just basically him and Fox that are left, and I think he's gonna really have to step up and perform. And he's also in a contract year, which is, I mean, always gives players a good motivation to perform even better on the ice.
Yeah, Schneider's definitely a guy I've always had my eye on, being maybe potentially being that top 4 guy now, because he does have the spot really. I mean, when they've moved all these guys out, he definitely has. He's going to get the opportunity this season to do it. So we'll see if he does break out. All right, the other side, and there's again lots of guys you can choose from, especially after a team that didn't make the playoffs after having such a good season. Who needs to bounce back the most? I mean, there's an obvious one, mentioned him at the top, but who do you feel needs to really bounce back this season?
I mean, everyone's looking at Alexi Lafreniere, I think. From 28 goals and 57 points to just 17 goals and 45 points this past season. I'm expecting 30 goals and 60 plus points, I think. Otherwise, you might just be looking to trade him and he becomes not a bust, but just a very big disappointment from being the first overall pick. He is very young. He's somehow still 23.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I have no idea how, but he is somehow still just 23. So there is still time to develop and grow. But now the eyes are on him. It's his put up or shut up season, and he really needs to get back to that 28 goal 57 point season.
Or more. I mean, I think he's definitely capable of more. I mean, 28 goals, great. But I think he needs to put up more points. And that's, I mean, especially first overall pick, seems like forever ago, like you said. But yeah, he's still only 23. He's still got some potential and still lots of game left. So we'll see how much more patience, I guess, the Rangers have with him. Yeah. But yeah, he definitely needs to bounce back. I'll throw in Mika Zibanejad because I think he's a guy that, I mean, he was such a difference maker a couple seasons ago and kind of fell off. Defensively, I think the biggest thing was what happened last season. He just wasn't as good of a two-way player. And that was one of his calling cards a couple seasons ago. And that's, if he can bounce back to that, even just being better defensively, I think it's going to be a big difference too. All right, X factors, potential X factors. It can be a player, it can be a situation, like special teams, stuff like that. But what do you see as potential X factor this season?
In terms of X factors, I think the team will go as far as Igor Shesterkin will take them. I think he's their cornerstone, just like Lundqvist was for many years prior. The team is, as long as he is on top of his game, the Rangers are always going to be in it. And he is 100% without a doubt their X factor. And you could also point to Artemi Panarin and once again Mika Zibanejad and JT Miller. But I think the Igor Shesterkin will take the Rangers wherever he wants, basically. It's up to him.
Yeah, great goaltending. We all know what that can do for sure.
Yep.
And like you say, the defense is going to be a big part of that too. He can only do so much in the crease, right? You see how much Hellebuck, when he was still great, Jets are horrible in front of him. They still weren't a very good team. But then all of a sudden their defense is better. And then Hellebuck looks like what he's supposed to. So that's something that definitely needs to happen. All right, let's talk about some rookies and prospects. I mean, there's a few, like you mentioned, Perreault there, but who could surprise and make the team out of training camp? We're kind of not expecting to do anything.
I mean, I'm not really expecting many rookies to be slotted into the lineup. There's no one who's like, it's your time now. Besides Perreault, I think. Maybe Offman can be put in that conversation, but at this point, like, I don't think so. I think maybe a long shot, we're looking at Adam Sikora. We're looking at, and I'll talk about him later, Dylan Rubrek, who I think is an absolute steal. In terms of training camp, I don't really, maybe Bryce McConnell Barker, but the Rangers aren't a team right now focused on slotting their rookies in. If they deserve it and they're NHL ready, have at it. But I don't think we have many of those yet, which is not a bad thing. We have a bunch of very highly touted prospects who are just all in juniors or in the minors. And it's not their time yet. And a couple of years from now, I think it will be their time. But I think maybe Adam Sikora can get a shot, get a call up, maybe Bryce McConnell Barker as well.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Nothing really surprising. And that's usually what the team in their position are. Don't have those guys. They could maybe have a good training camp, but won't make the team. So let's talk about those guys then. Prospects to watch. I say not necessarily making the team, but just who should ever be watching in the pipeline this season?
I mean, go watch University of North Dakota. Go watch EJ Emery play. Hopefully, he has more than 1 point in 30 games like he did last year. But you don't get EJ Emery for points. You get him because he's big and he's really good at defense, which is something not a lot of defensemen are very good at these days. It's all about offense these days.
Yeah.
Watch the Erie Otters. Watch Malcolm Spence. He's going to absolutely go off this season. I think the Rangers got the steal of the draft when they picked him 43rd overall. People had him as high as I think 15 or 20. Um, Watch the Hartford Wolfpack for Dylan Garand, as I said, and Dylan Rubrek, 6th-round pick. He put up some great numbers in the OHL, and he was about half a point a game in the AHL, and he's 6'7", 215 pounds. So if he can develop a little more in Hartford, I think maybe by the end of the season, the Rangers might give him a shot because he looks really good and he has the build of a great NHL player. It's
Mhm.
6'7". Who's not taking that?
Yeah, that's right. There's a guy that to definitely watch. I might potentially mention that getting some call ups too. That's a guy for sure. A few players to watch there. Malcolm Spence, I've always liked from this past draft, and I was very surprised where the Rangers got him. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have dropped that far. All right, this is a quick one. Who's going to lead the team in scoring, forwards and defense? There might not be the more obvious answers for forwards, at least. But who are you looking at there?
I mean, I'm just gonna repeat last year. It's gonna be Panarin and Fox. It's the ones we pay the big bucks for. We
Yeah.
want the points. Panarin, I think, with Miller at his side, is going to do much better. Fox, I think, as well, is going to do much better. He's going to quarterback that power play, which looked pretty decent with Miller on it as well. And I think it's just going to be the same as last year.
Yeah, I think so too. And then Panarin, of course, is a UFA this coming off season now. And I don't know if there's really been any talk about them re-signing him right now, but he's going to be a big free agent to kind of watch, especially if he leads the team in scoring again.
Yeah.
All right, finish our preview here. I always love these, and there's been a few that have come out over the off season for a lot of the teams. I don't know if the Rangers put one out, but bold predictions or a hot take. I guess they could be the same thing, but what do you got?
It's a difficult one, but thought long and hard about this. But I think, and this is a very, very hot take that Rangers fans will not appreciate. I think by Christmas, the Rangers may see the writing on the wall and tank for Gavin McKenna. I think that it might be one of those. It's very unlikely. That's why obviously it's a hot take.
Yeah.
But I think last year might just be the writing on the wall. And I remember when we spoke for our draft preview, we talked about the Rangers pushing back that first round pick they acquired from that they gave the Pittsburgh Penguins. They opted to pick in 2026, and I said that might be leaning towards a rebuild. And I mean, we'll see what goes on in Rangers management. But if the Rangers aren't looking good by Christmas, I think it's just better to close the door, sell everybody, and just pray you get a good selection. You have Pittsburgh's pick, and I mean they're not looking to be very good as well. So hopefully you can pray on the Penguins a little bit as well. So I think that's my hot take. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely a way to go. I mean, especially like you mentioned Panarin being that UFA, he could fetch a lot on the open market if you put him out there. Because teams will pay to get him on the roster, especially if they think they can re-sign him too, which is definitely a big deal. So yeah, we'll see where the Rangers are at that point. Probably American Thanksgiving is where you're kind of looking, where they look in the standings. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting season for the Rangers, I think, especially after that train wreck of last season.
Yeah.
Maybe not a huge train wreck. They didn't finish at the end, bottom of the league. But when you win the President's Trophy and then don't make the playoffs by quite a few points, that is a big deal. So we'll see where the Rangers go. But thanks, Ben, for coming on, talking to Rangers as we're continuing our previews here for before training camp. We are at middle of August as we're recording this, but we might be watching this week into training camp. But thanks, Ben, for coming on, and we'll watch for your coverage throughout the season.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me, Matthew.
All right, well, make sure to check out everything at thehockeyverse.com. We got preview content throughout the site. Lots of coverage for training camp, for preseason games, all that fun stuff. And then when to enter the regular season, lots of fun stuff too. But check out everything. Check out our free Substacks and, of course, everything at thehockeyverse.com. But until our next preview video, we will see you next time.